All right, we are on the road. Welcome to the very first episode of this podcast by Her Sports. And I'm super excited to kick it off with the first episode being someone very special. She's the woman that started this all, our founder, Lisa Lamb. A little bit of a look into what this podcast is going to entail is really about the athlete's commute. We're going to be taking some athletes to training, getting an inside look and a bit of a behind the scenes on what really happens, those moments, the little times in these athletes' lives that we don't normally get to see into. What are they listening to? What are they eating quick? What is their mindset at? A lot of what an athlete's about happens on the interviews you don't see, on how they prepare, on what goes through their head. And taking an athlete to training, any person who's ever done a sport, gone to practice, knows how kind of iconic those drives can be. So we're gonna give a little bit of an inside look. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're totally
goodness.
fine. Like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What a nice morning.
It's a beautiful morning. Good day for tennis.
Yes.
Very excited.
Welcome to the very first episode of our podcast. Very happy to have you on first.
Well,
I feel like
thank
very
you.
deserving.
It's very exciting. I'm excited to do the same for you next week.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Very
complete.
true. Very true. And so where are we going today?
We are going to the Glorietta Tennis Center, and we are going to a tennis clinic.
Oh, very fun. Do you play tennis a couple times a week? How often do you get to do it?
Usually 2 times a week.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. This is you're getting morning military traffic.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that.
yeah, there could be a little bit of a wait to cross. Oh, actually, this is not too bad.
And I guess we can start by,
Okay.
I'm curious of
Yeah.
why you started Her Sports.
That's a wonderful question. I was really, I love men's and women's sports, and I can consume as much information about men's sports, especially some of my favorite teams, as I want. And I was feeling like I could not find the kinds of information and the coverage that I wanted for my favorite women's teams and athletes. And so after trying for a couple of years, and do you need directions? I'm just gonna
Probably,
pause. Okay,
eventually.
so if you want to go left here, this is
Okay.
actually good. There's always a couple different ways. And
Okay.
so if you want to get in the right lane,
Okay.
that's probably the easiest. And then, so then following my favorite teams is hard. And so I would send out emails to folks, to editors of papers, to try to get them to do more coverage, and did that actually for a couple of years, and I couldn't get it. So I finally said, you know what? I'm going to start writing the articles that I want to read.
Wow.
And
What would you say when you would reach out to these news outlets?
Well, usually what happens is there would have been a great event. So, and most of this is about writing. I like to read. And so I would have gone to an event live, and there would be an incredible performance. There would be an overtime game. There would be, something that really stellar that happened. And then I would wake up in the morning or even try to, after the game, to read more. You're going to take a right and not in this.
Where the bus is?
Wait, hold on. You're going to take it right here.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
And and then I couldn't find it. Whereas for my favorite men's teams, I know I'm going to get it. And in fact, I know I'm going to get at least 2 articles, sometimes 3, about the same, about an event. And so I would usually email like immediately, like say, hey, where's the coverage? There's just this amazing game.
Yeah.
And I can't read anything about it. And it was fantastic. And I want more. So those are the kinds of things. The other sport I love is actually tennis. So I love to consume tennis. So same kind of thing. There would be, and often those competitions have men's and women's tennis going at the same time. And so I'd read
Oh my gosh, yeah,
There's so much
an
about the
obvious
men's
example.
Right. There would be so much about the men's activity.
Yeah.
And their competition in like a sentence about how the women, like who won and who is next.
Wow.
So this is a traffic circle. So you're going to go, around to the other side there.
We have one of these in Temecula.
Yeah.
And it gets a lot of people, but I live pretty close to it. So
yeah.
Wow. So, and then you weren't hearing back. And so you were like, I'm just going to try to just start doing this myself, covering these games and putting stories out that I would want to read.
Yeah, and I actually started very locally. So I would cover the local girls' high school tennis, high school volleyball, and high school basketball. And can do that, on a local level. I just reached out and said, hey, do you want somebody to cover this? And they said, sure. Yeah. Then you're going to take it right here. Okay. We're doing a little bit of avoiding a little bit of traffic. And then, so it kind of, and actually they let me cover a professional women's tennis tournament here because I wanted to. It's one of those things when you're in a local small community, you're able to do that. And they were really,
that's super nice.
Yes. You'll take it right here.
And so then it's evolved more because you're not only a writer and a founder of Her Sports, but you also work.
Park behind this car if you can fit. Okay. You can park above it, but there's new rules about...
Really? Behind it? Not in front?
Well, you could park in front. There's just new rules about how far you have to be from a stop sign right now in California.
I might even circle once or twice so we keep driving. What's the best way to circle?
Why don't you take a right?
Okay.
That's probably the best way to do this. And then... actually we can do, we'll come back out and we'll go down Glorietta because it's nice long. We can go by the golf course.
Nice.
You're saying that I've done a little bit more than just right. So then it kind of evolved. I saw an opportunity really at San Diego State to pitch my startup idea. And so I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I can tell more stories than just the local high school stories. Maybe I can do more than that. Right. And so, and
it was kind of already obvious to you that not many other people were doing it.
This is true because I couldn't find that information anywhere. So I figured this is definitely a space where we really need. We need to be able to share the excitement of women's sports. There's so many exciting things going on in our community. I mean, we have these 3 very successful D1, we have universities that have D1 programs and, all of them have strengths, special strengths in particular areas. So you can keep going this way. And then I think what I'll do is I'll just take you down to the Glorietta. Yeah, so we did that, and so I did that, and it was really kind of a fun experience to learn how to, before you create a startup, you have to identify a problem, and so my problem was that the lack of coverage, and and that fans it's disappointing and discouraging for fans, and they don't know who to root for when they have that. So
it's like a bad cycle. If there's no one reporting on it, it's harder for fans to get into it. And if fans aren't getting into it, then less people want to report on it. But the fans are out there. It's just kind of about connecting them more to the event and the programs and the athletes, and which is what men's sports have had the chance to do for so long.
Exactly. I was just thinking of, that sound, if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Well, this is kind of that same kind of thing. You're going to actually have to take a left here, or else we're going to go on the bridge, which is also fun.
Just take you all the way, far, far away.
Yeah, we'll go to Newport.
Wow, very cool. And so have you been have you always loved watching sports your whole life? Is this something that you got into more? What was it like growing up, your relationship with sports?
Yeah, it's always been, our family always watched a lot of sports, especially, we grew up in, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and my family was one of the, at the time, one of the unusual and very lucky families to actually have season tickets to watch the Washington, now Commanders, football team.
Okay.
And so our family, we were just rabid Washington fans.
Yeah.
And so I learned everything about football. I really I loved football, and so that's what we grew up watching mostly. Also, we watched tennis, but it was, I think, really mostly, but the other thing, mostly football. But both of my parents played sports actively, the whole time I was growing up. So they modeled. Your
parents played sports actively.
Yeah, they modeled for me, just how much fun sports are and competition. And so they both played tennis. They both, again, they love sports, and they had both played sports in high school. So it was sort of a natural that I would keep playing sports and enjoy that and love that. In fact, my dad was in the Senior Olympics. I don't know if you know that they have that. If you're 50 or older, you can compete.
Oh my gosh, no.
And he would compete in tennis, pickleball, pool, track.
No way.
Bowling. I think there's kinds of pool,
all kinds
singles
of
and doubles. Yeah.
So he would very compete in
everything.
Athlete. Wow.
Up until he was 85, he was still competing. So
my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome
to get to see him just have that love of sport and love of competition, and unbelievably that he was able to, and they both were able to stay in such good shape and still are.
Right. And you were able to then keep incorporating sports into your life, which is crazy because you have a very different other career.
Yes.
And now you're so immersed in sports at the same time. Do you want to talk a little bit about your whole other career? This whole other life you have on top of starting a women's sports media company.
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually my sort of, so this is my passion project, and my real job is I'm actually a math educator. I'm a professor at San Diego State, and I love it. And that's been certainly a passion of mine. Yeah. I was actually a high school math teacher for 7 years in both Virginia and here in California. And while I was a teacher, I was also a coach. So that was sort of a natural. I coached tennis and track, which was a good opportunity for me to get to,
I didn't know that.
To get to know. And I think that's one of the nice things about sports and is you get to know kids on a really different level when you get to coach them. Sometimes it's harder to do that when you're in the classroom with them. So this is
being
really
a coach rather than a teacher, you saw the difference.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I earned my PhD out here, and was very fortunate to be able to get a job at San Diego State, and that's where I've had my entire career. I really do.
Yeah, and found a home.
I did, exactly. I found a home.
Yeah. And so comparing you finding a home at San Diego State and then thinking about how you're starting this company and the first city you're starting it is San Diego.
Yeah.
How do you see like the sports home and the sports community within San Diego?
That's such a good question. So I think one of the interesting things about San Diego is that there are so many things to do. There are so many opportunities. I think it's sort of an interesting space because there's so much vying for our attention. Yeah. Like just consider this day to day, how gorgeous it is. And it's kind of like this 365 days a year. So, so they had the right of way. Stop. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah. They don't have to stop. Okay. It's a weird intersection. Sorry.
No. I'm sorry. Okay. So wait, pick up where you left off.
So you're doing a very good job, by the way.
Thank you. Coordinating is not easy.
No, it's not easy. And I don't know how you can hold a conversation, and especially if you don't know where you're going. I'm just very impressed, I have to say. So,
okay,
very good.
More about the San Diego sports community.
Yeah, so I do think that there is so much going on that is like, people are actually out doing sports, which is a good thing. I think we're a relatively healthy community because of that. So it makes it even, I think, a little bit trickier. But I really feel like if you go to pick an event that you love, a women's sporting event, and there's so many going on all the time, you would get hooked because I'll just give you an example of, for example, I did not grow up playing volleyball or know much about it, but once I started covering it, first at the high school level, and then I started covering the Mojo professional women's team, I am so hooked. You have to be so... You have to have so much teamwork. You have to have so much athleticism. You have to really be able to work together to be able to do that well. This way? Yeah, you can. Yeah, come get this way.
Oh, I know.
I know. Now. People are really crabby this morning. Who knew they'd be in such a hurry to get to work?
I know.
So, yeah, I really got hooked. And then, recently both USD and San Diego State are on these really nice win streaks. They're thrilling to watch. So I do feel like if
you had that experience where the more you read about it, the more you went to these events, the more you loved it and wanted to follow it more.
Exactly. And I think that's what's going to happen with the community. If they actually go to one, I think they're going to really get hooked and get excited, because there's the quality and the it's such high level. Yeah. And there's so many opportunities, and I really think that that's a good hook for people. Go to see a live event, and then we can that's one of the things that came up when we were talking to people, is they often don't know when those events are happening. Right. So we share schedules. That's one of the big things that we share, and that people actually say they really appreciate. Oh, I didn't know this was going on. You did a really nice job of covering the Supergirl Surf Festival, and we were able to provide a lot of support for that ahead of time and after to share. And
that just shows the range of athletics in San Diego, like you were saying. Exactly. I mean, between tennis and surfing and soccer, I mean, volleyball, and you really have such a range here.
Right. And we have professional ultimate, or what people think of as Frisbee, the Super Bloom. We have women's tackle football with the San Diego Rebellion. Yeah. Surfers rugby often has players who actually end up becoming Olympians.
Yeah, so, it's incredible. And these are all sports that are getting more and more eyes around the world, and we have them here in our city.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's so many opportunities to see either sports people grew up playing, or even maybe a sport that's new to them. Right. And so it's really exciting. I think this is an exciting time to be involved in the sports scene at all, but really the women's sports scene is just thriving.
I agree with you. I think it's an unbelievable time. Yeah. And I think we're coming up on your time to get into your sport. So I'm curious, getting into your training. Yeah. What is your training like? What do you get the most excited for? And what is one detail about your pre-training? Are you a coffee before your training? Are you an electrolyte before your training kind of person?
Yeah, and that's very generous of you to call it training. So,
it is.
So mostly it's so I make sure that I am well hydrated, and I always have a banana before my training, before I actually go and play. And so you're gonna have to wait until all these cars are. Although they're waiting for the guy in the crosswalk, so this will be a little complicated. Yeah, this is the trickiest intersection. So it's mostly that. It's also stretching really, really, really well. That's one of the things that I've learned as I've aged, is that stretching is really probably the most important thing that I do before I actually get out onto the court. Yeah.
That's something that I think even young athletes underestimate, because we think we don't have to, and I have learned the art of that too.
Yeah. Did you have injuries?
Oh yeah. I was an athlete with a good amount of little injuries, and I think a lot of them could have been prevented by more stretching, but also
Yeah.
more specific stretching of like hips being a female. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't talked about at all. I think also there's not a lot of research
Yeah.
that had been done on it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, definitely I incorporate it way more.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So I think that's definitely critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are probably the biggest things. And then I do have electrolytes and water like while I'm playing as well. So that's kind of my...
Wow. Well, then you're all set. I hope that you have had your banana, or you're about to.
I did have my banana right before I hopped in the car.
Perfect.
So that was and a lot of times I do that on the way. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't think I'm going to eat the banana
Yeah.
while we're chatting. So.
Well, I really appreciate you being our very first episode and for letting me drive you here.
Yeah, well, Jourdan, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure.
Yes.
And I'm excited to return the favor.
Yeah, I will be
So-
very excited. So have an amazing training, and
Thank you.
thanks for letting me tag along.
Yeah, well, thanks for the ride. Really appreciate it.
course.
It's fun to have a chauffeur.
Yeah.
You know, this is a first.
Oh, great. Yeah, you taking yourself or walking here. So.
That's right. That's
Awesome.
right.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Lisa.
Jourdan. Well, thanks so much. Have a good day today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.